Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live stream with
Hello.
with Mr. Simon Bowler and Mim.
Good to see you guys.
Hi. And we are super excited to have you, Simon, especially when you got so much history. And honestly, we cannot wait to hear you. And Mim, if you could briefly introduce whilst I'll getting photos ready to open up. And yeah, take it away.
Absolutely. Mim. Welcome, everyone. Really welcome. This is a really special one as well. This is Mr. Simon Bowler. He is the Juice Plus father, dad, king, to so many of us and for so many years now. He has been partner. He was in a partner role since May 1990, and then has gone through the corporate role. And we would love to hear briefly a bit about your story from the beginning up until kind of around now. If you can go ahead and do that, take it away, Simon.
Yeah, good to see you guys. By the way, I'm going to make this short version. Otherwise, I could probably go on for an hour. But like yourselves, I started, like you said, as a partner, but I call it back in the Victorian times. Of the company back in 1990, which probably if you're watching this now, you weren't even born, maybe, who knows, or you're very young. But listen, I was in my mid-20s then, 24. I had a couple of businesses of my own, by the way. I've always been sort of very entrepreneurial, and my whole family's entrepreneurial. My father's been in business since the day dot. Had lots of different types of businesses. So I sort of grew up with that, and it's, we do a lot of things we carry on from our parents, of course. So I started my own business. In fact, I didn't go to university, right? I went to what I call the University of Life, which is probably the best university, by the way. So I came out of school at 16 and didn't really have a lot of qualifications, wasn't great at that. But I was very entrepreneurial. I wanted to own my own life. I didn't want people to tell me what to do or boss telling me when I could go to the toilet, etc. So I started my own business when I was 18, which was basically a conservatory centre at the time. Really didn't know what I was doing, but I've got lots of ambition. So started that. That was very successful. Went on from there. Started another business on top of that 2 years later, and I wasn't making a fortune, but I got 6 staff. And it was a really good family. Well, I say family business. It was my business, but it was making good profits, and I was loving it. And then that's after 4 years, and I got basically a phone call from a friend to say, "Hey, I've got this guy come over. This American company starting in the UK. They're going to use it as a stepping stone to go into Europe. I'm not interested. Can I send him around?" So this guy came around, total stranger. Came into my house and he showed me what was a VHS videotape, right? Remember those days? You probably can't. VHS videotape. Yeah. Put that cassette in. I watched that. It was 20 minutes and it was explaining about the opportunity of the company itself, product as well. And I watched that and I thought, yeah, wow, sounds amazing. And he got a product with him at the time, which wasn't Juice Plus then. It was a water filtration system, and it made bottled quality water from your tap water for a penny a litre or a cent a litre. And I thought, wow, big bottled water drinker I was. And I thought, I could see everybody buying this. I thought, yeah, it looks an amazing product. So he left it with me, and I attached it to my tap. I had that for a week, and I was not sure about this company. I thought, well, company sounds a little bit sort of dodgy, maybe. So I rang my accountant and I said, look, can you check this company out? It cost me some money with Dun & Bradstreet to do that. Well worthwhile. I could recommend that for anybody because most people don't check companies out. They get emotionally excited about a product. So he came back the next day. He said, look, Simon, it's got a 4A2 rating. Well, won't mean much to you guys. It meant they were basically cash rich and debt free. And I thought, wow, yeah, I've got no risk. And in those days, you had to buy a package of product to start the business. You couldn't just come in and sign, and start. I mean, now it's what, £60 to get involved. In those days, yes, you had to sign in, but you had to buy this inventory of product, which was £3,000 plus VAT, right? Which that was it. That was the base rate, base level. You either had that money or you didn't start. It's as simple as that.
My goodness. Okay, story, I got the question, Simon. Like, you know, you said you been retired for 1 minute. What made you stay for so long in this profession, and yet you could really choose to stay retired for not longer than 1 minute, stay retired, but you came back. You came back. And I remember, I actually remember the day when people like Simon retired, he's gone. Like, what? Everyone like, what's gonna happen? You know, everyone was like kind of panicking. I remember that post was like going crazy, you know. It's kind of you wasn't allowed to retire, you know, really. But what made you want to stay in this profession and still continue, where you have a choice to just enjoy life on the beach. Your kids grown up now. You got this time when you can do what you want and, you know, be where you want, you know?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've got my independence. I do what I want. So you've seen all these family photos. I've just spent last week in San Francisco. My daughter graduated there. I've got a real zest for life, actually. I love travel. But it's people I love. You know, yes, we've got an amazing product. The company is unbelievable. But it's actually the people, it's the Juice Plus community, which is very close to my heart. And most of my friends were there in Juice Plus as well over the years that I've developed all over the world. And it's the people really which are the heartbeat. And that's that connection really that I can't give up, because it's part of the fabric of my body and my life, which I love, because you know, life is about people. Let's face it, it really is. You know, family and the people that we interact with, and the Juice Plus community is so wholesome in so many ways. It really just genuine people that you just love and adore. And the business has given me so much over the 33 years that equally, I want to pay back. I want to give my bit of paying back to the community what I've got out of it, and really help people become successful in many ways. And money's not just the only form of success that you measure really with success. It's other things as well. It's the personal growth you go through. It's the person that you become through the journey. Actually, money can't even buy that one as well. That's the great thing about it. So that's what I love about the business.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Yeah, I've got a question. So I'd like to bring it back to when you were in the partner days, and how it's had its advantages to you and your family, because you know you're being a dad, you've got 2 children, grown-up children now, and you know we have a lot of families that are doing the business, they're doing the business full-time alongside their full-time work, their part-time work, being a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad. You know, and how has it been, like, on a personal level? How has it benefited you and your family unit?
It's had a profound effect on my life. At the times, there's a lot of lessons that you go through. So I put myself in some what I call extreme positions where I had to perform in the business, but also I had to take control of my life. I mean, one thing is going to live in another country. The other one is operating a business in a foreign country where, you know, you don't understand the culture, the language. Regina, you'll know this. And it's hard. It really is hard, you know. And I can remember driving off the ferry it's about 6 months after I got in the business to go and live in Belgium, in Ostend. I drove off the ferry 7 o'clock at night, and I remember very clearly, literally, I was shaking. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel, right? I got this sort of perspiration of nervous sweat coming down my brow, thinking, God, this is it, right? I've got my whole world belongings in my car, going to live in a country there where this thing had to work. And I can remember driving up to where I was living at the time, which is halfway between Antwerp and Brussels. But I got to a junction about 11:30 on the motorway, and it said, turn left to Amsterdam, turn right to Paris, or go straight on for Luxembourg. And that for me was a big moment. I was like, wow, God, I'm sort of in the heart of Europe here. So that was a big one. And then, of course, just moving from country to country to country. So that really gave me a massive foundation in terms of made me who I was as a person, where you've got to look in the mirror and you've got to say, right, this is the deal. I put myself in this situation. I will become successful no matter what. That was it. It was a do or die, really. So over those years, that personal growth has continued. And I love putting myself in that situation because, you know, somebody said to me, you're like a tree. Either you develop, you're dying in the ground with dead roots, right? Or you're this beautiful blossoming tree that's growing branches and blossom and everything like that. You know, there's no in between in life for the human being. And your comfort zone, you don't really realize actually it's your uncomfortable zone until you actually get out of it. And you look back on it and you go, oh my God, actually, yeah. Because most people live in the comfort zone, you know, and it's when you sort of get out of it, it's like, oh, ow, ouch, oh, I'm jumping back into my comfort zone because I feel nice and warm and cozy here. But that's where the human being doesn't grow. You know, you need to stretch yourself and do some things that are uncomfortable. And then you realize to yourself, wow, little old me, I could do that actually. Yeah, here's me thinking inside where my monkey was telling me, no, you're a loser, right? You said you were a loser at school, right? You never did well with your exams. You didn't go to university. And someone said, well, you'd never be successful, right? These people, these are the things that we all start to believe in ourselves from people around us. So from that, it's really led on from me doing some amazing things with my life. You know, I've got some other business interests. I've got some different income streams. And that's really led to my kids doing some amazing things with their life. You know, both my kids have studied outside of the UK. You know, my son now is in Berlin, in Germany. He's at a university there. I didn't kick them out of the UK, by the way, right? They made that decision, right? But it was like, they know what it's like. They see me go through the personal growth and all the stories. And they're like, yeah, Dad, I want to do that as well. I want to take control of my life. And with that, you know, I can see all the pain that they're going through, but they're beautiful, wholesome human being that they are developing in, where they're becoming very confident in their lives and in control, which is just great to see. It really is. So a lot of people say to you, from time to time, I'm sure you get asked, well, what would you change with your life? Actually, I wouldn't change a millisecond of my life. I really wouldn't. There were some very unpleasant times. There were times when I actually wanted to quit my Juice Plus business. Literally many, many times. It's like, I've had enough. It's not working. I feel miserable. I'm not going to do this. It won't work out. All those questions that you go through in your head. And then, well, okay, if I'm going to do this, well, what am I going to do? You know, and that's it. I'm going to get a normal job. Yeah, anyway, all those things go on. So it's been an amazing, amazing journey, and the journey continues as well. And I just feel blessed, absolutely blessed in many ways that I got the phone call that time of my life. You know, and Steve Jobs puts it in his biography, and he says, you can never join the dots going forward in life, but you can always join them going back. And I can think back to that period and go, wow, well, what if I hadn't had that phone call from a friend, right? What would I be doing now? You know, I'd be doing something, of course. I wouldn't even be married to my wife, because I met my wife on an aeroplane flying from Heathrow to Amsterdam on a Juice Plus business event. You know, we sat next to each other. Brilliant. So actually, I wouldn't be with my wife. I'd probably be married to somebody else. It's crazy, really. So think about that question for yourself. What if?
I love that. Absolutely love that. So, Simon, you know, I asked you your favorite quote, and I'm going to add your favorite quote. Yeah, I every time I love people to share their favorite quotes and why they live by that. So this is the quote I'm bringing. It's coming up. Is it coming up?
It's up there now. I can see it.
Yes, right. So that's, Simon, your favorite quote. Why this quote is so special to you?
I didn't even have to think about this one. This was immediate thought straight away when you asked, okay, your favorite quote. Because this one is dear to all of our hearts, really, right? At the end of the day, it's up to us. Nobody else. It's not our families. It's not our friends. We've got this great journey of life where we're put onto the planet by our parents. And from that time, from where we start to where we die, we all go through this journey. And as it says, if it's going to be, it's up to me. So these are the situations that we put ourselves in, whether it's business, it's a job, or whatever. And we all want to be sort of classified as a success in life. You know, what is success? How do we all measure success? My success, I would say, I measure is those real down moments that we all have. Every human being has them, where we've got the seed of doubt. And I listened to a great podcast when I was away last week, and it was basically a mindset doctor, and he talked about this monkey that we have in our mind. He calls it the monkey. We might call it the second person, but he calls it the monkey. And it's basically the monkey that can end up running our lives if we don't watch it, because the monkeys have got the ego. We feed into the ego that we've all got. And the monkey is the thing that says, oh, you can't do this. No, you're never going to make it, right? You didn't do well at university. Oh, and by the way, you're not great with people. Oh, that Juice Plus business won't work. Those are the doubts that we always have, right? Really, when it's our computers that need to be running our lives, that's the one we need to connect with, which gives us assurance, right? And it says, yes, you can. Of course you can. Go and make it happen, right? Yes, you're going to trip over, but you can be a success. So these are the things that we need. And that's why this quote really is very close to my heart in so many ways. And I want you to think about it if you're watching this now, because what it is you can lie to other people, but you can never lie to the man or the lady that's looking back in the mirror to you. And that's you. Never lie to you. You really can't. So it's basically, okay, listen, I need to take control of my life. And I was in Stuttgart a couple of weeks ago on stage. And what a lot of people do is they put things off. They procrastinate. And it stops people moving forward in life, right? People might be behind on their promises in many ways. Their promises on the finances. They're behind on the finances. They may be in a situation or a relationship that's not good for them. But, you know, they're putting off the inevitable where the relationship isn't working out. It's not going to work out. But they go, well, actually, I'll just put up with it, right? And they put up with it for years, but it's holding them back of breaking free to do some amazing things with their life, really. So this is another question for you now. You know, what's holding you back? What are you procrastinating on, right? Can you make some decisions today that's going to move you forward tomorrow in a much better way of your life? I'm getting very philosophical now, right? But this is it. You know, why are we on this planet? Right, what are we designed to do, right? We don't need to go to our graves with a gravestone of saying, actually, here's me, Regina, I wish I did this. Here's me, Mimi. Actually, I wish I did this with that person. Right, there's lots of wishes on people's gravestones. So why should you go to your grave with a bunch of wishes where you just never gone on and did them? That's it. So what I'm saying is now is put a flag in the ground and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to make some decisions, right? Maybe some of those are going to be hard decisions to make, but it is your life. It's up to you. Nobody else. It is up to you.
Absolutely amazing. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna write down somewhere in front of me that really, really touched me in many, many ways. And Simon, you know my journey from the start. We met in different events and everywhere. You've seen even my health transformation, by the way, from going long hair to short hair, from all different. Anyway. But yeah, Simon, I want to say thank you so much. This is so special live, and anyone watching this, yeah, just ask yourself, like Simon said, ask yourself, and it's well, don't go with the long wish list to the grave, right? So we make it the most. And yeah, Mim, anything you want to add?
Absolutely. So grateful for you, your knowledge, your power with words as well. It really does dig deep, and it does hit home so much more than you'll ever know to so many of us. So really appreciate your time for coming on and speaking with us.
It's been an absolute pleasure today, ladies. It really has. And yeah, look forward to seeing you both soon.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And thank you everyone who's been watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
To the audience.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye.